Minister of State for Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas of Government of India has informed the Parliament recently that the government has rejected the dimethyl ether project, and for this, he has stated the following reasons. The government says that the government is aware of a potential pathway of blending of dimethyl ether with LPG. According to the government, there are certain downsides in the use of DME, such as material compatibility, safety, handling, regulatory requirements, and lower calorific value than LPG. Presently, the minister says that there is no proposal under consideration of Government of India to formulate a national DME blending policy or to provide fiscal incentives or viability gap funding specifically for DME production for LPG blending. The government further says that no procurement program for DME by public sector oil marketing companies has been finalized. These are the views of the government. Very obviously, it looks that the government's views are very hasty and they have not taken a holistic view of the entire matter. Let us see what is the reason why we consider the government views to be hasty. DME has several merits that make it appropriate to be used as fuel. DME can be blended with LPG that would enable the country to reduce the import dependence on LPG. At present, India imports 60% of its requirement of LPG, and there is urgent necessity to reduce the import dependence on LPG to as much as possible. DME is eco-friendly fuel and much more eco-friendly than LPG. While calorific value of DME is slightly lower than the calorific value of LPG, there is no reason to reject this or reject DME for this purpose, because when DME is going to be blended with LPG, the DME component of the LPG is going to be only 20%. The balance is going to be only 80%. Therefore, the impact on reduction of the calorific value is not going to be significant. Obviously, government has not taken a holistic view of the DME scenario based on the ground realities and the need of the country. Now let us look into the features of DME and its application. See, number one is physical state of DME under normal conditions are same as that of LPG. DME is a colorless gas. Cleaner combustion is possible with DME as it produces very low level of soot, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, and particulate matter. DME has good comparable efficiency. It provides thermal efficiency similar to conventional fuels like LPG and diesel. It has excellent combustion properties as its cetane number is 55 to 60. Flexible range of DME usage is very attractive. DME can be used in blends with LPG, or it can be used independently with compatible burners. Now let us look into the applications of the DME. One is it is used for LPG blending. Other is it is used for aerosol propellant, where it is used in personal care, automotive sprays, and industrial coatings. Then it can also be used as a transportation fuel. There are other minor applications like use in power turbines, as a reagent in industrial chemicals, etc. All these features make it DME very, very attractive. Now, having said this, let us look into this, how DME can be a substitute for LPG. The physical properties of DME are similar to that of LPG, number one. DME is promoted as a sustainable synthetic fuel that can substitute the LPG or blended with LPG's mixture. The infrastructure of LPG can be used for DME and there is no change required. DME is similar to propane and butane, which are the main components of LPG in physical property. Then price comparison of LPG DME can be seen to be an attractive factor. Suppose, for example, taking the period February 26 into consideration, during the February 26, the non-subsidized LPG price in India for commercial use was between the range of 93 rupees to 101 rupees. At the same time, The import price of DME was only 74 rupees. Even taking the customs duty and other incidents into consideration, the price of DME would be lower or equal to that of LPG. It's a very important factor. Now, having looked into this, let us look into the global scenario. While the government of India has rejected DME for whatever reasons, the global installed capacity of DME as on today is 15 million ton per annum. I repeat, 15 million ton per annum. The production is around 7.1 million ton per annum. And China is one of the largest producers of DME in the world. There are reported to be more than 50 producers of DME in China. DME capacity in China amounts to more than 12 million ton per annum. DME is largely used in China in fuel application where it is mainly blended into LPG. This is the same application that we are also recommending for India. Now let us look into what is the strength and the weakness of DME. If we look into the strength, DME can play an important role in order to curtail the rising import of LPG in India by way of blending DME with LPG, and it would contribute to the improvement of energy security in India by curbing the import of LPG to some extent. DME burns with scot-free and produces lower NOx and CO2 emissions compared to diesel LPG. Therefore, DME may be used as fuel for diesel engines, and the exhaust gas from DME is much cleaner than that from the conventional diesel fuel. Above and beyond DME's core properties, when blended with LPG, DME has combustion properties that makes it capable of up to 20% blends without the need for new infrastructure or changing appliances. Bureau of Indian Standards has already approved DME for blending with LPG up to 20%, and he has notified the appropriate standards for that. Now, what is the weakness of DME? DME has a lower heat value than LPG, meaning that heating time would take much longer for DME compared to LPG for similar quantity. However, we are not going to use DME alone. We are going to blend DME with LPG to a level of 20% DME. So the balanced quantity is going to be only 80% LPG. So there is unlikely to be any significant fall in the heating value of the entire mixture. Having said this, now let us look into this. One factor very, very important as to why the government of India should not ignore DME. One, DME can be used as industrial, commercial, and domestic fuel. It can be used in all the cases where LPG is used. Burning DME causes little emission or soot, and therefore it is extremely important to prevent global warming issues. India's dependence on import of LPG should be reduced to the maximum level possible, which can be done by blending DME with LPG. This can be done by handling DME and LPG up to 20% blending. The same infrastructure for LPG can be used for DME, and therefore there is no extra spending required for infrastructure needs when using DME. The safety issues with regard to DME are the same as that of LPG. The transportation sector would contribute to the overall DME demand in India if only the government of India would permit DME to be used, as DME has higher C10 number, which provides better ignition value to ultimately reduce pollutants from the environment. Technology for DME production is well proven, and there are very well established technology suppliers abroad. Methanol is the starting material for DME production. Methanol required can be met by import until such time that adequate capacity for methanol will be built up in the country to produce methanol at the globally competitive price. Price of DME is competitive with that of LPG. The economics of DME project would be satisfactory. Finally, DME's use as an alternative energy source enjoys wide-ranging support across the world in a number of countries, with numerous projects underway or being planned in China, Egypt, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam, and so many other countries. The fact is that DME project in India is a win-win situation for all the stakeholders and would benefit India immensely. The question is why the government of India rejected this. Certainly, government of India should reconsider this decision and take a positive attitude with regard to dry ether. Thank you very much.